I think of art as a seditious act. The way I use it, it's really trying to get you to rebel against an obstinate sense of self. So I chose a form that would allow us to manifest the world that we wanted rather than wish for it.
Tell me a little bit about this excavating histories that goes into this work.
Yeah. Well, every decade is about a different community that is being built as a result of being torn apart. And that's done in microcosm and macrocosm. Sometimes it's just a community of two people. Sometimes it's the entire nation. We deal with the Civil War and World War I and the Underground Railroad and the abolitionists, and we kind of mash those two up against each other. There's a whole decade where we pit Walt Whitman and Stephen Foster against each other to see who will win the title of Father of the American Song. So that when you see the first decade and the second decade and the third decade, by the 18th decade, you're going, oh my gosh, the women's lib movement started in the 1780s, and here we are in World War I, and they're just getting the right to vote, and here we are in 2016, and a woman just lost the presidency. And you know that you see the patterns of how women have been stopped from gaining power over and over and over again, and how it was the same tactics people used to stop Hillary Clinton were used in the 1780s. And used by our forefathers, used by Thomas Paine. You know, he wrote this really scathing article about Judith Sargent Murray, who wrote this essay on the equality of the sexes, just belittling her. And it's the same tactic that was used to stop Hillary. And one of the subplots or themes of the show is to kind of unearth that history and remind people about it.
What was really interesting to me was the way in which you left intentional gaps. You didn't tie everything up into a neat little bow. And it's interesting because the artists that you bring in as guests and the people that you're collaborating with on stage, within those gaps, you can feel this profound belonging. The gaps are there to create belonging.
Yeah.
And the audience gets to jump into that belonging as well.
Yeah.
And so it turns into a sort of formula, and you reinsert back the very distinct, different thoughts people were having, songs people were singing, who was doing the singing, who wasn't doing the singing.
Yeah.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
There's a reason that you decided to work with popular song. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we chose the durational aspect. And then I thought, well, how is it told? And I thought, well, popular music is using its imperfection. I always say perfection is for assholes. You know, popular music is often, it's using its imperfect rhyme, its simple chord structure, its warbly voices and repetition and its hooks, and it's using its simplicity as a way to rally the people. These popular songs are always trying to rally the masses and using their imperfection to do it.
That lonesome dawn, sitting on an ivy tree, he's weeping for his own true love.
It's not about singing the songs perfectly, but the virtuosity of memorizing 246 songs.
No small feat.
No.
To me, obviously, there's so many different literacies, art literacies and cultural literacies that run through your piece.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it fits in every which way.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a song, it's one of my songs, in the final decade are all originals, and one of the lyrics is, let's go divining for the radical spirit, you know, so it comes from an idea that I'm not supposed to give you the profundity, you know, that's your job as a collaborator, you audience member. So I'm just a diviner, and I'm looking for where the profundity might be, and it's, oh, I think it's here, go digging, you know, and then hopefully, you know, we help. Keep saying, oh no, a little farther, and people dig, and then they come up with something they always knew was there, or that is part of their DNA, but they haven't thought about it in a long time, or no one's ever pointed it out to them before.
So it's 1776. The big question is, how do we build ourselves while at the same time we're being torn apart? I don't have the answer for that, spoiler alert. I just have the question.